The Auburn Tigers are in another big battle, and we'll find out in 6 days if they can win this one. Now, we're going to talk about safety target Zaquan Patterson in a minute, but first, let's bring on Jeffrey Lee of Auburn Live. Jeffrey, another big target, four-star safety. Zaquan Patterson is about to come off the board this Saturday, but we got to talk about what happened last Saturday. Kam Franklin to Ole Miss, the four-star defensive lineman, had been trending toward Auburn for weeks. And then on decision day, it's Ole Miss. What happened?
Lane Kiffin was not going to let this guy get out of state. I think that was apparent. They're late. I mean, everything lined up for Auburn. It looked like Auburn was the team to beat earlier in the week, and I firmly believe they were. But just as Hugh Freeze was not going to let Jalewis Solomon commit to South Carolina the week before, Lane Kiffin was not going to let Kam Franklin commit to Auburn, and really came on strong there at the end and was able to keep the big guy at home.
Is it a little surprising that maybe, Auburn's lost a little momentum? They had those huge flips, one from Georgia, one from Alabama, and then, they lose out on the KJ Bolden recruitment. They lose out on the Kam Franklin, and it just seems like recruiting kind of went to a screeching halt almost.
Certainly lost some momentum. You picked up Jalewis Solomon. You're going to get some back. TJ Lindsey was last weekend as well.
Yeah, TJ Lindsey was a big one.
Picked up a couple of four-stars, but you've kind of hit like 2 for 4. And, in big boy recruiting, that's not too bad. But with the momentum Auburn had with flipping 5 stars in late in July and going into the KJ Bolden commitment squarely in the mix, going straight into the Kam Franklin squarely in the mix, and then missing out on those two. It certainly took a little bit of the wind out of the sails, but there's still a breeze, no doubt.
All right, let's talk about four-star safety Zaquan Patterson and his recruitment as we're hitting the home stretch for him because he's going to announce on Saturday. Last week, I'd say Auburn fans felt maybe really good about where they stood with Patterson, but now it looks like things are trending away. We're hearing Florida State is surging. What's your read on this recruitment right now?
Well, I'm going against the grain here, man. I've heard the Florida State buzz. Miami has always been at the forefront of this recruitment. Mm-hmm. But, man, I really been hearing the most about Auburn and Michigan, believe it or not, Josh. Some people are going to call me crazy here. But I think as of today, this Monday here, I really think the two schools in best position, according to my sources, are Auburn and Michigan. And Miami's certainly in there. I really am not hearing – legitimate buzz on Florida State. I really think it's Auburn, Michigan, and with Miami kind of just hanging in there as well.
All right. Well, last Monday, you told Auburn fans to be cautiously optimistic about Kam Franklin. Of course, things deteriorated, in the 48 hours prior to his decision. So how should Auburn fans feel this Monday about Zaquan Patterson announcing Saturday?
Cautiously optimistic sounds pretty good to me. It worked. It covered me last week, but I really do. I'll have my updated hot boards today on Auburn Live on 3, but I've got it 50-50, and it's not so much Auburn, Michigan. It's Auburn against the field. I really like what Zach Etheridge has done in this recruitment, the relationships that he's built. Not only that, but with his mother. Zaquan's mother came to Auburn July 31st for Big Cat, and Hugh Freeze, Ron Roberts, Zach Etheridge, Wesley McGriff, all these guys really put her to the forefront of that recruitment and that visit, made her very welcome. Of course, they left Auburn and went to Michigan that day. So I really I think Auburn is certainly in this. I think it's a 50-50 right now. I can't decide if it's Michigan or Miami. I kind of lean towards more Michigan here. But I do like where Auburn sits heading into the week. Still a long time to go, and it's so difficult these days. It's one thing you got to predict where they're committing to, and then you've got to predict where they're going to sign. I mean, all these big dogs, even the guys that are committed to Auburn, you can't just stash them away and say it's a done deal.
No way.
You've still got to sign them.
Hey, we're not asking you right now where they're signing. We're just asking where they're committing on Saturday. So let's get off of Patterson. Let's talk a little bit about DeAndre Carter. He's one of the top interior offensive linemen in America. He's out of California. He's at Mater Dei. And he set a decision date for September 3rd. So we're about 2 weeks from where he's going to decide. And Auburn really wants to get things cranked up with offensive line recruiting. And DeAndre Carter would be a great place to start. But Jeffrey, Are Auburn fans going to get Kam Franklin or KJ Bolden here, or does this look like DeAndre Carter will be the first Auburn offensive line commitment?
I think Auburn fans should be very confident here, unless something changes, as certainly we know it can. But I really feel confident with Auburn here. He made this decision to go ahead and commit after he left Auburn on an unofficial visit for Big Cat Weekend. He's just been shoring up the time and date and where family could get together, and just the best time and place to be able to announce. And he's decided on September 3rd. I think it looks very good. Still feel very good about my prediction for DeAndre Carter to Auburn.
All right. We don't talk a lot of 2025 recruiting yet on the Inside Scoop, but four-star outside linebacker Jaqualeb Falk is set to announce his commitment today in a few hours. And he previously named a top 5 that had Auburn and Bama, Georgia, Florida, and Clemson. But this one's really just going to come down to the 2 in-state rivals. Falk's already said that himself. So he announces today. What's the final intel for Auburn fans?
Gotta feel good. Got to feel good if you're Auburn fans right now going into Jaqualeb Falk's commitment. I put a prediction in for him earlier this morning. Auburn, Alabama. You said that he talked to me Sunday afternoon. He said those are kind of the 2. Of course, all these other schools are still in it, but man, these are my final 2. This is legitimate. The schools that I'm really considering: Auburn, Alabama. Jaqualeb Falk, his older brother, just signed with Auburn. He's a freshman defensive lineman. He lives, Highland Home is 45 minutes to an hour from Auburn. Jaqualeb's been there several times, dozens of times, and has really built a relationship with Hugh Freeze just in the short amount of time Hugh Freeze has been there, as well as with Josh Aldridge. And then having Jaqualeb Falk there to his big brother to kind of bounce ideas off of, like, what's it like really? Do you really like it? Do you really like these coaches? Do you feel good about this program? To be able to do that to somebody you trust, like an older brother, is big for Auburn. And I certainly think Auburn's going to be Auburn fans will be happy Monday evening. He's a damn good player.
All right, Jeffrey, thank you for stopping by the Inside Scoop. Auburn recruiting is an absolute roller coaster. I mean, the highs, the lows, it's so much fun. Jeffrey Lee, thanks for stopping by and telling us everything you know on the Inside Scoop.
Thanks for having me, Josh. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.